Woo! So I'm super excited. This Buildings Over Bags conference is like amazing, right? Hopefully by now you all have learned a ton. I know I'm very, very excited for today because we are talking about flipping, and I have some amazing women that have just grabbed the bull by the horns and taken on that which is all things flipping. So I'm really excited today because I can personally attest to how bomb Alexis is.
Oh, you're so
Today
sweet.
we're talking to Alexis Lee. She is a real estate investor agent that resides in Atlanta, Georgia. So, Alexis, I will have you tell all of the amazing people that tuned in all about yourself and how you got started.
Sure. So, um, my journey to real estate flipping, it's been a ride. It's been interesting. And so I started about 5 years ago. And basically how I got started was, well, I'll say when I was 21, bought my first house, lived in it for a year, rented it out, bought another property, lived in it for 2 years.
Wow.
Um, and I bought it from auction. That was my first time going to the auction when the market crashed.
Wow.
And so I bought my second property then and lived in it for a while and just rented it out. And then I got started in the hair business.
Mm-hmm.
Um, had multiple stores, like 36 employees, and I was completely miserable and I hated every minute of it.
I can kind of sort of relate to you.
You
I
can
get it.
attest to that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can attest to that just a little bit. Not really, but
A
a
little
little
bit.
bit.
Yeah. So I was depressed, but making a ton of money, and just miserable. And so I was like, really, really, really prayed. And I sold my shares. It happened very quickly. I sold, and my business partner bought me out. The next thing you know, I was like, after that, I was on vacation with my family. I just had this idea to start flipping, didn't know what I was doing at all, no clue. But I was like, I remember going to that auction. And I got on an auction site and just started bidding on houses, and I won. And my dad kind of joined the ride with me, and we flipped that house in a month. And the first day I listed it on the market, I got a full price offer. We closed
Wow.
15 days later and we made $18,000. And I was hooked since then. I was like, this is it.
Wow.
This is what
So
I'm going to do.
you said a couple of things that I really want to unpack. So when you went to that very first auction, what in you said, hey, I'm going to go to an auction? Because most women aren't thinking about, real estate auctions or, especially at the age that you kind of did that in your 20s. What was that first step like for you?
Yeah, so going to the auction, I was like, I realized very quickly after I bought my first house that I made a bad investment. Um, and I got all hooked into those arms that they were doing, and my mortgage was super low. And I'm 21, almost
Mhm.
22, and having a good time. Just
Mhm.
I was happy, I was excited. I wasn't paying but like $600 a month
Wow.
until the first year, and then I was paying
After that. Whew. Mhm.
$1,700 a month, and it
Oh
wasn't as cute
wow.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that'll stress you out.
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm thankful that down the line I was able to refi, and I've been able to get that lower, but it still was a horrible investment. I mean, my tenant in it now covers the rent and I make a little bit of profit, but it's definitely nowhere near any of my knowledgeable investments that I've made.
Got you.
So still horrible, horrible investment. And that's just because I wasn't knowledgeable about what I was doing. I didn't do my research, and I kind of just listened to what someone was telling me. This
Right.
is a good deal and you'll be able to refinance and it'll be fine, until the market completely crashed.
Oh
And
wow.
you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, so it was a lesson learned, but I was determined for my next house not to be in that same position. And so I really started doing my research, and I was like, oh, looks like these people buying these houses really cheap at auction. And at
Mhm.
that time, they were letting you go to the auction with financing. So all you had to do was
Oh,
come with, yeah, I financed it. It was like I had a
wow.
loan and everything, but I bought it from the auction, and I went there and I said, oh, I have my $2,500.
Mhm.
And I was just bidding on stuff, and I had my little list of houses I had already researched, and I was
Mhm.
like, I think I really want this one. and I got it, and I ended up buying it for like $90,000.
Wow.
At that time in that neighborhood, people were purchasing houses for like $200,000.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, okay, I stumbled upon a good deal. I did some cosmetic repair that my loan actually paid for. I got a rehab loan,
Oh,
and it
good.
paid for me to do the repairs to the house because I didn't have a ton of cash then. So I got the loan, the rehab loan. I did the repairs. I lived in it for a couple of years, and then I rented it out. And what I was paying on my mortgage, I was getting double in rent by putting it on Section 8. So I was excited about that.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
So I know a lot of people are, kind of leery about Section 8 or scared about Section 8,
Yeah.
but I mean, have you had a bad experience with it?
I haven't had a bad experience. All of my tenants have been really good, but I say it's really important just because have a voucher, and we try to get away from the term Section 8, but it's just so commonly used. But
Mhm.
just because they have a housing voucher
Mhm.
doesn't mean you don't need to still screen your tenants. So
Right.
I screen them the same way I would screen any of my other tenants. They still got
Right.
to fill out an application. I'm not accepting anybody with evictions.
Mhm.
I'm going to check their credit. I mean, it's the same background check. Everything is exactly the same as any of my other tenants. So I still feel like they're same quality tenants.
Right.
And two, I feel as though a lot of times they take care of the properties better than other tenants because they don't want to lose their voucher and they have
Right.
to take care of your property more. So I feel like if you do the proper screening,
Mhm.
yeah, you always are taking a risk with anybody. You don't know just because they're in a current financial situation, you don't know if that's going to be their long-term financial situation.
Right.
But you can make educated decisions when picking your tenants. I mean, I had a friend of mine, he was just telling me, it was like he was getting a new tenant, and he says on a dime, if he thinks it's somebody he wants, he'll say, hey, let's go, I want to check out your current place that you're living at right now.
Oh, wow. He's
Yeah.
pulling
And
up.
just like right now, let's go. Like, I got time. Come on, let's go to your current
Let me
house. Like,
see
if
how
you
you
really
living.
want to live.
How are you gonna take care of my house?
Yep, that's
Wow.
exactly what he does. And he tells them if he thinks that's the person he's gonna go with, he'll say right then, let's go to your current. Where do you live at? Let's go to your current place now. I want to see how you're living currently. See if you're gonna take care of this place. And he's like, if they say no, then you know that they're not the right person. If they say yeah, let's go, and you get there and you look around their current place and it's in good shape, then you can kind of gauge that they're gonna take care of your place.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Hmm.
he's serious.
Yeah,
He's
very
serious.
serious.
And I
Yeah.
mean, I can feel him because I've been through a couple of instances where people just tore my stuff up. Like,
Hmm.
ah, who raised you?
Yeah.
Is how I was feeling afterwards. But yeah, you do have to be very diligent and just screen for your life
Mhm.
because your life might depend on it, depending on that tenant. Um,
Yes.
so let's talk about the units and the deals that you've done, like by the numbers, like how many flips. I know that you still have some rentals and things like that. Over
Mhm.
the course of 5 years, right? You've been doing this for 5 years.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm on my 10th flip.
Woo!
I know.
Averaging about two a year, but you didn't start 5 years ago. You started maybe three.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And some of them have been smaller, but we first started out just doing cosmetics. We were able to flip those very quickly.
Mhm.
And then I don't know, I got this crazy idea that I wanted to start really
Yeah,
redoing
some of your
houses.
stuff is scary.
I don't know who gave me that idea. I might just go back to cosmetics and flip these things in a couple weeks and be on out of there, make a quick little 18,000, and I'll be all right. I'll be good. These 3 and 4 month, 5 month, 6 month projects, like shush.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I'm going on my 10th one. Like, we just started demo to yesterday, and
Got
so that ended up not being. I think I estimated to pay 2,000. I'm gonna have to pay like 2,600 for demo because they had to end up taking out more stuff. So I was dealing with that today. So I
got
told my dad is managing it, and so I told him, I was like, "You're already off budget. Day one, good
Daddy.
job. You're
Right.
gonna need to figure out how you're gonna make that up because you off budget already. Okay,
Oh
it's just
goodness.
day one, already not on budget. But yeah, so we're starting our 10th one. And I don't know, I have 11 properties sitting,
Woo!
and but I only have 6 tenants currently, and then I'm fixing up 5 in Detroit to put tenants into. And hopefully, fingers crossed, prayers up to the Lord. I'm be closing on my first multi-unit. I have a triplex that I'm under
Great.
contract for, and we're supposed to close on Wednesday, so in
Oh,
2 days. So
yeah,
I'm really excited because
you
it's
got
fully
that right.
occupied.
Yep.
Yeah, and so it's already occupied with tenants, and
Nice.
I have a feeling I might have to put one person out, but other than that, we doing all right. But she is the one person I think I'm gonna have to put her out. Just because you can already tell somebody about to be a headache.
Yeah, you can, and you just don't want to deal with it. Like, look,
No, I don't even want to start off like that. So let's
right,
go ahead and let you
right,
evoke your 7 days to move on your lease.
right.
I'm going ahead and let you go and get on out.
Yeah, sometimes that's the best thing to do.
It is.
So,
I feel like in this industry, you have to use your discernment and go with your gut. Like when you feel something ain't right, somebody ain't doing right.
mhm,
If it's contractors, if it's subs that you're working with, if it's
right,
tenants, whoever it is, when you feel something right, go with your gut. Because
right.
9 times out of 10,
It's
it's
going to
gonna
be a
cause you more
nightmare.
headache or more
Yep,
money.
yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So you said something very interesting. That a lot of people, you have to really change your mindset to understand what that means. Like you have 11 properties sitting, so that means 11 times you put some money out to secure
Yeah.
some properties, and they're kind of on pause. So I mean,
Hmm.
that's hella boss for those of you that are like just still kind of
So
getting into this, like
I
man,
have
you do
11.
have
I got
property
six
sitting, like
tenants.
I'll get to you, you're gonna be in the rotation. So I mean, number one, I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that you can just slide, like when they say slide your resume across the table, like your resume is already dope because I've seen your work.
You're so
And
funny.
you've already sold some things, but the fact, like, yeah, I got some in the back, I'm gonna get to them when I get to them. Like
Yeah.
that says a lot. It really
Yeah,
does say a lot.
it kind of works out that way because so now, okay, so I have 11 properties that I'm planning to rent. I have 2 properties that we're planning to renovate that we've already purchased, right? And sometimes it's good to get the deals when they come because like now I have a property I paid 32 for, right?
Mhm.
I was planning to renovate it, but now just a month ago I was going to sell it for $60,000. Now, I mean literally how quickly the market changes. I just got an offer for 75,000 today. And I've only owned it for 8 weeks. And so now I have to make this dilemma. Do I sell it for 75?
Right.
Now go get my little quick money and
Right.
buy 2 other things that I think I can get for like, 35 and 40,000 that are in the same neighborhood,
Mhm.
and then maybe even try to flip those for 75, 80 down the line in another 6 months? Or do I hold on to it, put 100,000 in it? Now I've only paid 32 for it. It's 132, and then sell it for 250. But that's like 6 or 8 months from now. So like, what do you do? It's like those are the kind of dilemmas. So I like buying properties when I can get a good deal for them, even if
Right.
I'm not ready to work on them,
Right.
because I don't know what it brings. Because anytime I know if I can get something for a good deal, if I'm just sitting on it, I'm still building money in it.
Yes.
So the equity is still building depending on what neighborhood, what market you're in. And
Right.
so I don't mind doing that. Like even my houses in Detroit, I got them from the tax sale. I'm planning to put tenants in them, but I have already started getting offers. Like one I paid $4,500 for, somebody already offered me 26 for it. I haven't had it
Wow.
since October. You know what I mean? I'm like, hold on, what? You want? I was like tripping on the phone. They're like, the offer that they're willing to give is 26,000. I was like, oh, really? And I thought about it,
Right.
right? But right now I'm not strapped for cash, so I'm not pressed to sell it. So I'm like, let me just sit on it, see
Right.
what else I get, or I'll put a tenant in it for a couple years, but I know I can get 26 at least.
Yeah. Yeah. The one in
Yeah.
Atlanta, is that the one that we saw for your first Renault class?
Yeah, it's the second property we went to. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's scary. Like the vines coming inside. That was a little on the scary side, but like
Oh
I love
no.
the house. Like I feel like that would be an amazing sell. Like, and I know that you would do it justice by rehabbing it. So
I know. That's how I feel too, because I'm just like, man, I could make it beautiful, but do I want the cash, right?
right,
Because
right,
anytime start doing renovations, I tell people, you start doing the renovations, you take on a different risk. So you
Yeah.
purchase, you take on a risk, you renovate, you take on a risk. You
Yep.
don't know what could happen. You don't know what you could get into.
Very
And
true.
your profit margin, when things happen, I just see money spiraling down. Like my profit is going down.
Yeah.
But at the end, if you make money, you still did good. So it's like, do I want a quick nickel or do I want to slow down? I just have
Right.
to make those decisions all the time. Yeah.
Right. Right. You know how they have like
Mhm.
rich people problems? These are like flipper problems, like
They
investing
are.
problems, right? And they're great problems to have because it's like,
They
do I want my
are.
money now? Do I want my money later?
Yeah.
But they're all things that just kind of face when you are investing.
Yeah.
So, what do you know now that you wish you knew when you first started about flipping properties?
What do I know now?
Mhm.
I know it's not as hard as it seems,
Mhm.
right? So anytime you start getting into some new area where this is something you never done before, right? It always seems harder than it really is, right? So
Right.
you always just think that it's just here's this big mountain in front of me. It's impossible to climb. And yes, I see other people doing it and then that seems great. And other people are doing it and it's great. But until you do it, you don't think that you can. But once you do it once, this is what I tell people, start.
It's addictive.
Yeah, start. I tell people start. Just start. If you can just start, get
Right.
past your own self, get past your insecurities, get past being scared and start, you'll see that it's definitely something that you continue on. Because I tell people there's no magic formula to this, right? Only thing it is I've done it. I
Right.
did it. That's it. I started and I kept going. And I went through the hard parts and I pushed through the challenges and I kept going. And now I'm able to see that it's something that I can continuously replicate.
Right.
Right.
Right. Wow. So talk to us about some of the scary moments, right? Like what was the biggest L that you took in flipping a property?
So I've had a ton of them, a whole lot of L's. I could lay all the L's out. And I
Woo.
think it's good to like kind of tell people that, right? Yeah,
Right.
I've lost a ton of money. I've made money, but I've lost a ton of money. And because a lot of times they see you on Instagram,
Mhm.
I post some bad stuff that's happened, but I don't post a ton of it because
Right.
the bad stuff is daily. But
Yep.
I've learned to not feed into it and not give it a ton of my energy. It's just part of this business, right?
Right.
And so I don't feed into the bad stuff. I always say, look, I give myself 30 minutes. I'm going to pout. I'm going to be upset. And then I got to keep going. It's time to go on to the next thing because
Mhm.
business is business. And if you can't take the L's, then you can't take the wins because they come hand in hand. Right. So I was doing a property and, it's all my fault. I was being cheap, using a cheap contractor. And they were doing work without properly pulling permits. And so we get to the end of the job, and I think I'm getting ready to go get the electricity turned on, and we done made it through. We done got it through, and I'm getting ready to sell this thing. And they're like, no, you can't turn electricity on until the inspector comes out.
Mhm.
What? Now the inspector comes out. Inspector's like, open it all back up. Open it all back up. $20,000 later. Yeah.
Okay.
I then can put my house on the $20,000 later. Already at the end of my budget. House done, looking cute. We all done. We're done. House is cute. I'm done. I'm getting electricity turned on. I'm thinking it's a wrap. It's done.
Right. Oh my gosh.
$20,000 later, I was able to finish it and sell it, and I still made a good profit. But that's a hard lesson to eat,
Yeah.
especially when you put all your eggs in other baskets
Right.
and you're at 20 and you need to pull $20,000 and now where are you trying to get it from? Your personal savings account.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh my gosh. So talk to everyone about some of the major wins that you've had or like, the most money you've made from a deal.
Yeah, so mm, I wouldn't say like most money. So I've made, I've made 60,000, 70,000 on a deal, but to me, that's not the most because of how long it took me. So if it takes me
Yeah.
8 months and I only make 60, that's not a really, like, that's cool. But
But that's not what I want.
that's
Got
not really a win, right? And
Gotcha.
so I see, like, if I have to think of like what is some of the things I'm most proud of, the most proud of is not really necessarily my flips, it's the properties that I hold, because I feel like any properties that I hold that I feel like are building a ton of equity and I'm bringing in cash flow, those are more important to me than just the instant cash, because the instant cash comes in and the instant cash goes out very quickly.
Right. Right.
Like, yeah, I might cash a check for 229,000
Mm-hmm.
and in 48 hours
In it.
I ain't got no money. I'm talking about
Go
where
shopping, buy the block. Mm-hmm.
the money be gone, right? Because as an investor, you reinvest so quickly. You get
Right.
most real investors, right? As
Mm-hmm.
soon as they get a large amount of money, they're putting it back in
Mm-hmm.
instantly because that's just part of it. So that's what I do. But my holds to me are like those are what I'm most proud of. If I'm proud of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I just posted on Instagram today a property I bought last year.
Mm-hmm.
I paid 62 for it when I bought it, and it appraised for 65, so it was worth 65,000. Right? I put 20% down, and my mortgage payment was $400. I was getting 740 a month in rent. I did not put any money into it because I bought it with a tenant already in place.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been holding it 1 year. I just got it appraised, and it appraised for 120.
Wow.
And I have a housing voucher person in there. I put in a request, so now I'm getting $1,112 a month. And my mortgage payment is still $400 a month.
That's dope. That's
Yeah,
dope. I,
just 1 year.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a win.
Yeah.
That's for sure a win. Okay, so what's been your favorite book or resource that you've kind of learned from?
Yeah. So I read. I tell people I read. I like to read, but I don't read. Like some people be like, oh, one book a week, and I be like, yeah, I'm gonna hit you with that one book every 4 months, because like I just ain't got time. I don't know how y'all had that much time. How you got that much time to read? I don't have that much time to read. So
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I go on vacation, I try to read something, but then I'm on vacation. It's like my mind is already spinning so much. I don't really want to learn on vacation. I really
Mm-hmm.
just want to read to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trash book that I'm just enjoying. Right? But
Nothing
I have
serious.
started to replace like a lot of music with podcasts. And
Mm-hmm.
so like I'm just like, let me turn this on while I'm driving. Like I don't need to listen to all that feeling ratchet. I need that sometimes.
Yeah.
But let me listen to a podcast. And then I'm like, now I'm just like, let me learn from other people.
Right.
So I feel like I'm learning so much by just offering my time to other people, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I want to learn something. I'm attempting to get my general contractor's license. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn how to do the electrical. I want to know how the plumbing runs. I want to know all of those things. I want to understand the foundation. So I'm like, listen, I asked my electrician, can I just work with you today?
Right.
I'll give you whatever you need me to do. You need me to go in the crawl space, you need me to go in the attic, I'll run all the wires for you. Just show me what you do, right?
Okay. Yep. That cross
Yeah,
space is a little tricky, but yeah, everything else.
it's nasty. I went down there. I was in the crawl space, and then as soon as I came from out, I was on the phone with my dad. Like, you need to get somebody down here clean this thing out. This is ridiculous. I'm down here, and it's all nasty, and it's spider webs. I don't want to be down here with all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
But that's how you learn too. You need to
it is.
know what that stuff looks like.
Yeah, I feel
So
like I learned so much that day. Like I really did. Like how everything connects, and like that's just invaluable. Mm.
for people that are like, doing their first project or thinking about doing their first project, talk about like some of the fears that you kind of faced, because I'll tell people in a heartbeat, like I still have so much to learn about real estate, about flipping, about buying and holding, all of that. And I think that one of the major barriers to entries is, people don't feel like they know enough or like they're 100% ready So, did you feel 100% ready? What are some things that you did to like make yourself ready to, just
I'm
start
not
flipping?
100% ready now. What does that even look like? I
Right,
don't even know what that looks like. I learn something new every single day. There's no way you'll know everything. So I try to tell people, you got to just start and not know and figure it out on your way, right? All
right.
you can do is try to do as much research as you can. Try to be knowledgeable. Actually put the time in to understanding what's going on. And that, I'll tell you that. Like I really, when I first started, I thought, look, I just want to get in and design it and I wanted it to be cute and I just want somebody to go do it. And that's where I was. Like, I want to pick everything out. I want it to be cute. I know what I want. I know what people like. I know what people want to buy. And then everybody go do it. And I have quickly realized, right, as people funnel my money away and I see it going out the door because it's my money, right?
Right.
I need to be knowledgeable about what things cost. I need to be knowledgeable about what labor costs are for certain things. I need to be reasonable about the people I'm hiring. Do I want quality or do I want the cheapest person? Because cheap don't mean quality.
Right.
But I want people that are fair with their prices. I want to know what materials you're using, how much those things cost. I want to be reviewing my site plans and not just looking over them and say, yeah, that looks cute. I want to know why everything is here.
Hmm.
And it's like, and I'm getting to that point now where it's that serious to me.
Hmm.
Like I got my site plans for a new project. And I mean, I went through every line. That was the first time I really went through and just read the entire site plan. Oh, this is why he put this light here. Oh, that's why these are here. Oh, I don't like that stuff there. And I went back to him today and was like, I don't like this here, this, move my window because this is where my bed is supposed to be placed and the window's not going to look good there. Let's move it here, da da da. And I never really paid any attention. I just said, I want this room here, I want that room there, and then you go do it. But now I'm so invested
Right.
that I'm like, nah, now I want what I want here and there, and I want to know exactly what's going on. And so I think if you can just immerse yourself in what you're doing,
Hmm.
if you say you're passionate about it, learn your passion, it'll take you so much further.
And for people that, are wondering how you map that out in your mind, a lot of us like to play Joanna Gaines from HGTV, like, oh, this is going to be cute. This is going to be cute. And it might be that great when it gets down to finishes and staging. But like, how in your mind do you, like, what's that process like for you to map out everything to make it make sense?
Yeah, I just think about what I would want really a lot of times out of 10, what I would want to see in a property. Like I know how I want to live and I try to make sure that all my properties reflect that. And I like for them to be thoughtful. I
Hmm.
like them to have unique features. And I think it's important that you just realize, because a lot of people are just like, okay, put a room here, put a closet there. Yeah, but like, who's this closet for? Is it for a child? Is it for an adult? Is it for a woman? How much does she make? How many shoes does she have? Like, who is your target audience that you're designing and building for? And
Hmm.
those things are really important when you're flipping to sell, right? Now,
Right.
and when you're renting, it's a whole different ball game. I'm thinking about longevity, the quality of materials I'm putting in anything. Are they going to last up through renters? People moving in and out. What are some, still being thoughtful about my renters because that's their home and they want to feel like, just because they're renting, they want to feel like that's their home. And I get
Right.
that. So
Right.
I'm not going to just throw that old nasty brown paint up in there because they think that that's going, you're going to see them kids dragging their dirty fingers across it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just not going to do that. So it's like, those are certain things that I try to make sure that when someone is buying my house, they feel as proud of it, and I feel as proud of it as they do, right?
Mhm.
So I want someone to walk in and love my property and be like, this is perfect for me. Um, so I just try to do my best with that.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. Um, and one last, I guess, kind of technical question. How do you analyze your deals? Like what's a good flip for you? What constitute a good flip where Alexis would say, yeah, this is something that I want?
So I really, it doesn't matter how much I pay, right? It doesn't matter how much I have to put into it. All it matters is my um rate of return. And
Mm-hmm.
so, look, at the end of the day, how much money is going to be in my pocket is what I'm, if it's a good deal or not, right? And
Right.
so everyone has their own thresholds. Some people, if they're making $20,000, that's great for them. Some
Mm-hmm.
people, if they make 40 off of a deal, that's great. Some people, they're like, I'm not doing a deal unless I'm making $75,000. So it's just all about like what your threshold is. I
Right.
have my own. It's like whatever deal I'm doing, depending on the amount, like I want to make sure that I'm making at least 30% of what I'm putting into it, right? So I want to be bringing home that much. Otherwise, it's just not even feasible for me to do. Just because I know how once you start opening walls up, you don't know what you're going to get into,
You
and
sure don't.
expenses can change and budgets can change very quickly. And so, we just demoed a house today. They started demoing. We realized that it's like cement on the ceiling. I don't even know why anybody would put cement on the ceiling. But of course, my demo people are like, oh, it's going to be a lot harder. We're going to
Yeah,
need
of
more
course.
money. It's too
Mhm.
much work, so much work. Yeah. And then when I walk in, so then it's like, okay, I'm gonna pay you this much more because I understand it. I'm not in it to get over on anybody. So I'm like, all right, pay you this much more. They were happy. Okay, let's keep going. Then get in and they're like, oh, rotten wood. Wood is rotten. Wood is rotten. Wood is... I'm like, all the wood is rotten? I could have framed a whole new house at this
Right.
point.
Yeah.
I'm like, everything can't be rotten.
Mm.
Everything is rotten.
No.
And so it is what it is. It's
Yeah.
just part of it. I know that, and I just adjust with it. So,
Awesome. So this is the Buildings Over Bags virtual conference. Can you talk about like some sacrifices that you have made just to make like this real estate thing pop for you?
yeah. Well, as I speak right now, I'm in my basement apartment where I live. Yeah, I can look around and see the sacrifices I've made. So
Yeah.
I've owned a ton of houses, and to me, I just the building itself doesn't mean anything. It's just where you live, right?
Hmm.
Right? And so my end goal is I have a 9-year-old daughter. It's just me and her. I don't want her to feel like she's ever lacking for anything. And I want to be able to build wealth, not just for her, but her children and their children. I want to have a legacy that I'm passing on.
Right.
So I'm sacrificing for that, right? And so I sold my house, my primary residence and we loved our house, right? But I had like $100,000 in equity in it. $100,000, you know what I can buy with that? A lot of stuff. So
Right. Yeah.
it had to go. And I started, we built out my parents' basement, and me and my daughter live down here. And so it's great. I'm with my family, which is my first priority always, right?
Yeah.
So I don't mind it. And it's been great. And it's allowed me to make a lot more moves than I would have been able to do having a mortgage for a primary residence, right? And so I don't have one. So I'm able to leverage that and buy a lot more stuff, not having that primary residence. So I'm good with it. Yeah.
Nice, 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 nice. Okay, so we love a good deal. We
Yeah.
love, free things. Do you have anything that you'd like to offer any of the viewers and attendees that are watching right now?
Sure. So I have a few classes coming up, right? And
Woo!
so I have my Atlanta class. It's going to be May 4th.
May 4th.
Yep. And then I'm going to be partnered with a female contractor in Detroit. She has
Nice.
several properties. And so we're going to do a 2-day boot camp there.
Okay.
I'm going to drive you around to my properties there, her properties there, 2 days, full boot camp. And that's going to be June 1st and 2nd.
June 1st and 2nd, Detroit.
And then I am going to New Jersey. I got to pull up the date. I'm going to have a property there, and it is going to be uh, the last week in June. I got to get the official date, but the last week in June. And so anybody who is watching this and wants to sign up for any of those classes, you can get 20% off any of those classes. Just use the code BOB19.
BOB19. And what's the website, Alexis?
Yep, it's Rehab with Alexis.
Rehab with Alexis. I will ensure that that is in the email. So for those of you that are interested, let's run through that one more time. The Atlanta class is May 5th.
May 4th.
May 4th. Atlanta, May 4th.
Detroit.
After that is Detroit.
Yeah, we're doing a 2-day boot camp in Detroit, and it's going to be June 1st and 2nd, and then we'll pull up the date for her. And then for New Jersey, so that'd be for the New York, New Jersey people.
Awesome.
Yes, because they have been hitting my DM.
I know they have.
We are doing June 22nd.
June 22nd. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And the website one more time?
It's Rehab with Alexis.
Awesome. And the promo code?
Straight to the sign up, and the promo code is BOB19.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So I know a ton of y'all have been asking me, what is Alexis doing? What she got going on? She just told you. Don't inbox me. Make sure you go to a class. Everyone's like, do I have to go to Atlanta? No, she just told you she was going to Detroit and New Jersey.
Yes.
Invest in that, because you have someone that looks like you, that understands exactly the way that you are thinking. I don't want any more DMs like, oh, I don't know if I can trust this person. I can personally vouch for her. We've done a class together. I've seen her properties. I can attest to the quality of her work. She has real receipts. And so it's an investment. If you have to travel, go. You know, if you got to book a flight, book the flight. If you have to drive up, drive up. If your girls can come, great. If they can't, your money's not dependent on your girls. So just make sure that you are investing in yourself. This absolutely was amazing. I'm so thankful and happy that that you agree once again to come on board. For those people that are just meeting you for the first time, how can they connect with you online?
So you can always follow me on Instagram. It's Alexis Lee Real Estate. I post a lot of the stuff I'm doing day to day on there. And also on Facebook, it's Alexis Sales Atlanta. So
awesome.
You can follow me on both of those.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
I don't tweet. I just can't do it. I don't.
It's too much work.
It's too much. I mean, I barely can post a picture. I can't tweet too. Now.
Oh, you're doing great at posting pictures.
I'm trying.
You're doing more than trying. You are doing. Like, I'm so proud. Every time I look, I'm like, yes, go, Alexis, go. Right. It's funny when you see where people started, and then it's kind of like you see them progressing, and it's like, okay, let's go.
Yes.
You were not with it initially. I was like, Alexis, people need to see all the amazing things you're doing.
I was like, I don't want to post. I just want to work. I don't want to have to explain nothing to nobody. But it's good. It's good. And I feel like, I realized I was like, okay, if it helps motivate other people, I'm willing to put the work in.
It's motivating a lot of people. Do you feel it?
I do.
I know they tell you. I know they tell
do.
you. Yay. Good.
Yeah,
Good. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Alexis out here being a blessing, right?
Yes.
A blessing to all the women that are interested in flipping and selling and all that good stuff. All right. So this has been amazing, amazing, amazing. Please follow, please support. And I am telling you, if you want to flip, invest in one of her classes, invest in a one-on-one call, hit her up. And absolutely, just invest in yourself and make sure that you do it. If it's something that you've always wanted to do, she's already said, one of the things that she regrets is that she had not done it sooner. And that, it was not as difficult as she thought that it would be. So by all means, like this year, let's get it popping. So until next time, this has been great. Thank you so much again, Alexis, for joining us.
No problem. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.